Good morning, Thailand, and good morning to everyone in the US, UK, or anyone else that may be watching this video. Hello, and thank you for joining me on a Sunday morning here in Thailand. And we're going to be talking about Thailand culture shock. Thailand culture shock. What does that mean? That means when you get off the plane to come to Thailand, you're going to experience some type of culture shock. And you will, we're going to talk about the differences in those. First, let me say, do not expect a whole lot of people to be in this live chat today because everybody and their brother is having a live chat right now. But this is, normally the time of day I live stream. So I'm going to just press forward with my streaming efforts. And hopefully we get some people in there. Hey, Cody, good to see you, bro. Thank you very much for dropping by. I don't know why you didn't come back yesterday, man. I was waiting for you in the green room of StreamYards. We had a. I'm sorry I had to cut you out like that, but had a rare opportunity yesterday, guys. Hey, Frank, good to see you. Rare opportunity yesterday to get some really good vloggers that's been around a long time. The Thailand and Philippines, Vietnam. They've been in this area. Oh, you. All right, then, Cody. That's probably a good reason. But had a last minute opportunity to get these guys together and come on StreamYards with me and share about Thailand, Philippines, and just a little bit about Vietnam. And I had to take that opportunity. I was very, very, very blessed and humbled by those guys coming over and helping out. That was really a big deal, and I really, really enjoyed it. So, Thai culture shock. Probably, let's just say that you're a tourist for the first time, or that you're going to be an expat for the first time. Which, by the way, I wouldn't recommend. I would recommend coming and spending at least a month over here before you decide that you're going to be an expat and live over here at some point in time. So, yeah, there goes more live streaming going on now. So, anyway, back to what I was saying. The first thing you'll likely experience from Thailand, the culture shock, is the language barrier. I think the language barrier is going to be a communication issue is going to arise if you do not speak any Thai at all, if you're not prepared to speak Thai. And if the Thais don't speak English or whatever your native language is, I think that's going to be a problem. Personally, I think that communication will be your first issue. Now, if you land in Bangkok or Chiang Mai or some other tourist destination where there are a lot of tourists walking around, you're going to be able to find some people that speak enough English that you can get by. You can get them to understand what you're saying, and they can understand what you're saying enough. My recommendation is just to get a few, maybe 20 or 30 phrases down that you can. My first trip to Peru, I laminated Spanish phrases on a card and just turned back and forth. I had 30 phrases on there, like and words left, right, straight, taxi, other things like that I had to know, and it went pretty well, I would have to say. What'd you say, Cody? Today, grilled bacon burgers, bacon wrap, quail, and shrimp. Chapel Hill sausage, crinkle fries, and corn. I hate you. I just want you to know that. That sounds so good, man. That sounds so good. Hello, Go More Hike. How did you get that to be so small? That's very, very, very interesting. Very interesting, I would have to say. So, one other thing I want to mention is the alcohol sales ban is going to be, if you're in Thailand right now, it's going to be up to your the mayor of your province, pretty much is what they've said. And So right here as far as I know, in the Bangkok area, you're going to be able to like buy, but not sit. So some of the restaurants that are or eateries that'll be open, you'll be able to take alcohol home with you, but you won't be able to drink it there at the restaurant. And they're doing that for the reasons of not gathering in places. I think my phone just froze up on me. It did. It froze up on me. That's okay. Cody says, when I watch videos of you and others at markets, seems as though y'all have to point a lot at what you want. Yeah, pointing is pointing at the food and using hand signals sometimes. It actually works out really good. It really does. It works out great, to be honest with you. Because they understand. And typically people at markets and that kind of thing, unless you're going for a small street food vendor, which by the way, Thailand has some of the best street food I've ever eaten in my life, just to let you guys know. So if you're going to a small street vendor, that person may or may not speak any English. So you just point at what you want and the number of how many you want, and they'll say something in bot. Just hand them an excessive amount of bot, and they'll give you your change back. Or if somebody else is standing there and happens to know what they're actually asking for in bot in terms of money, then it should be good to go. I don't know what's wrong with my phone. I'm gonna leave it alone. Prep for it. Hey, buddy. He says, thank you for these updates and info. You are very, very, very welcome, sir. Hike says, I used an emoticon. Okay. I got to learn how to do that to get some of those little letters in there like that. I've always seen those and found them fascinating. Robert says, hello, Cody. Hey, Robert, by the way, good to see you, bro. Thank you for coming by. I appreciate it very much. 500 at the wheel says, I love Thai street food. I only go to the ones that my family and friends recommend. And that's a good point. The rule on Thai, hey, Roger, good to see you, bud. The rule on Thai street food is go where the locals go. That's my rule. So if it's lunchtime and I'm going and I'm getting street food, wherever the locals are going to get their food, that's where I'm going to. Because usually that lets me know that they have really good food over there. Let's see. I said hey to Roger, and yeah, Robert says always bring someone to talk to them. You can do that too. That's definitely another option. DoMoreLife says had good info last night. Yeah, thank you, man. I was so surprised. The channel gained about almost 40 subscribers yesterday because Rike put in the live stream, Rike and Mike were on here, and then he put it up over on his channel as well, and I was blown away, man. Blown away at the subscribers going up. It was a real good day for us. So just keep following that up, I guess. And I appreciated those guys coming on yesterday. We had a great live stream. If you didn't see it, it's titled Thailand versus the Philippines in 2020. And on my video, I also put the never-ending debate. But check it out if you want to. It was really good. For any of you new subscribers, welcome to the channel. We try to keep everything PC in the comment section, and that keeps us out of trouble with YouTube. I personally don't care what you say. I believe in freedom of speech, and it doesn't bother me what you say, but YouTube, they care. So we try to keep them very happy. Cody says, kind of like here, I can judge most restaurants by how many vehicles are in the parking lot. Yep. Prep for it says, that is a good rule, Jeremy. I also just go to food vendors that are actually cooking it. Yeah. Or have barbecue to recook it. Yep. I'll do the same thing. Like, I love Isan sausages that they sell here. Street food vendors sell a lot of different kinds of Isan sausages, which is basically fermented pork. And they'll have them, if I go to, like, our work schedule now is starting at like 9 a.m. until the schools start back up. So if I don't go to work until I usually show up early, so I get there about like 8:30. Then the girl that I usually buy the street food from, the East Side sausages, she's already got them made, but they're cold. So I have her put them on the grill, but she's still got the grill going, cooking other stuff. And I tell her to put that on the grill for me, and we'll leave it on there for about, I don't know, less than 5 minutes max. And they're hot, ready to go, and it's good. I've never gotten sick there ever. Good food. And there are a couple more places. Now that we're starting to see the decree relax and everything come out of, everything's starting to open back up, I'll be able to get out and shoot you guys or record you guys some good videos. Looks like the camera is going to happen just a few $100s away from that, and definitely going to be able to get the one I wanted. So when that happens, we're going to start experiencing a different level of vlogging, because rather than putting out a whole bunch of quantity, I'm going to start focusing on the quality of the video and the audio, and we're going to see what we can do with all that. Ike says, I like the Thai pancakes. Thai pancakes are delicious. Absolutely delicious. Cody says, shrimp, rice, and veggies covered in soy sauce. Oh, yeah. That's some of the Thai food that you'll get here. And the thing about Thai food is you have to be careful what you order, because it's usually very, very spicy. And if it's spicy, and you have any type of digestive problems, you're probably going to be in, trouble. So be careful when you order Thai food, because Thai food is some of the spiciest food I personally have ever eaten. Be careful. Let's see. Cody said, we are all about to get hungry. Yes, we are. I know exactly. I'm ordering pizza after this live stream. I didn't do it yesterday, but I'm definitely going to do it today. Jensa, Jensa, you have to tell me. Do you work at a school there? Yes. Are you an educator? Yes. Cody says, and yep, Jay is an English teacher. I am. Fish, what's up, Fish? Breakfast sandwiches. Ooh, that would be nice. Do you know what I would give to have a Bojangles bacon, egg, and cheese sandwich right now? 500 says, we have East Side sausages once a week. I never knew they were fermented. Wow. Yeah, that's my understanding. That's what I've been told. And if you taste them, that little lime flavor that they have in them, I believe, gives away the fermentation. Like it wouldn't have that limeish flavor to it if it wasn't fermented. That's what I've been told by people that have lived here for a long time. That may be incorrect, but I assume that they know what they're talking about. Cody says, I've read it's spicy even if you ask for no sausage or seasoning. It can be, because I've specifically said, no spicy. I don't want anything spicy or any of that. And I've gotten some really spicy food from time to time. It's not a good thing for me, because you guys know I have digestive problems. Jensa, I don't know how to say your name. I'm so sorry. I'm mispronouncing it. It says, cool, curious if there are videos in this channel about getting into that. Thanks. Yeah, I got a whole playlist on it. Just go to the playlist. It's called, I have one, I think, how to become a teacher in Thailand. And then I have one that says how to get a non-B visa and a work permit. They're old, a little bit outdated. If you watch yesterday's live stream and catch the part where we were talking about non-B visas and work permits, that would probably be the most up-to-date information. So if you just kind of scroll through, that was toward In the latter, we had two hours of live stream yesterday, and it was in the second hour. I can narrow it down for you that much. Hike says I'd agree with that, Cody. Hike says, do they make biscuits in Thailand? That's a good question. I've never had like a biscuit, like a homemade biscuit here. I don't know, to be honest with you. That's a great question. Great question. JD says, what up from Jacksonville, Florida for now? Well, good to see you in the chat, JD. Thank you for coming. Cody says, I ate jalapeno peppers by themselves. Is that hot? Raw jalapenos, raw or cooked, like he says. Raw jalapenos is pretty hot, but I've eaten like jalapeno poppers and stuff like that before. I can tell you that the chilies that the peppers, the kind of peppers that they use over here, are the kind of peppers that you would find in pepper spray, like defensive pepper spray. So they're hotter over here, in my opinion. I've had some stuff with jalapenos in them, and for some reason, the jalapenos are even hotter than they normally are in the West. I don't know why. I have no idea. JNSA says, all right, we'll look at the playlist. Cool, man. Or lady, whoever you are. And if you have any questions, feel free to comment them or contact me on Facebook Messenger, and I will try my best to help you out. Cody says, I mean, nibble while I'm eating something with rice, chicken, shrimp, etc. Oh yeah, you can eat them with that. If you can handle spicy food, then you can handle Thailand. I mean, no question. You just have to get used to the food over here because the food is so it's so spicy. Just the general dish. Hike says, Cody, have you ever had battery acid on your fingertips, like from a motorcycle? Yeah, there you go. So what other kinds of culture shock are you going to be looking at? Well, one we talked about is the language barrier, and I gave you a solution to that. And the other one was, I'll check that post in a few minutes. The other one was the food, especially the street food. Even the food in the restaurants are going to be more spicy, but the overall food shock here, if you don't know what you're looking at, is going to be how do I say this correctly? Shocking. It's going to be shocking because you're going to order something, you're going to think, oh, that looks good, because a lot of Thai dishes look really good. And if you like spicy food, they are really good. But if you can't eat spicy food, you want to stay away from them. So those are two aspects. Thai people themselves, in general, for the most part, Thai people, well, the Thai culture itself is a very relaxed culture. Like, it's peaceful over here. It's very peaceful in this country, even in Bangkok. It's peaceful. People are not on edge or angry all the time. That doesn't that I don't see that happening over here. I haven't seen it. So you're going to have to get used to if you're a Westerner coming over here, you're going to have to get used to being humble, because the Thais really appreciate humility, and they definitely want to save face. Don't ever embarrass a Thai, ever. If you're right and they happen to be wrong about something, don't call it out. I'm telling you, don't do it. Hike says that's what it feels like eating Thai spicy, for me at least. But you can order stuff not spicy and pizza and burgers. Yeah, you can. That's a good analogy, Hike. I might use that one for something one day. That's a very good one. Very good one. I was talking about the people and then the culture overall. Yeah. So the Thai people are generally, again, the vast majority of them are extremely generous and extremely just nice. The people are just nice. I don't know how any other way to really explain that other than to say they're just nice people. They'll let you move through a traffic light. I think I told you guys the incident I had with the bike where I got kind of sandwiched between two cars, and one of the cars kind of hit me a little bit. But it was as much my fault as it was his, because I could have stopped and so could have he. But we both pulled over to the side of the road. The guy actually spoke pretty good, really good English, and he thought I wanted to argue with him. He said, "I have everything on tape. I have everything on tape." I said, "No, I don't want to argue. No argue." I said, "I just want to know if you're okay and your car's okay." And he looked at his car and he said, "Everything's okay." He said, "Your bike, I see a spot right here," and all that was where his bumper had rubbed up against the outside housing of the exhaust pipe. It had just put a clean spot on it, basically. And I said, "Bike's fine, everything's good." And he said, "Everything good? No, no police?" I said, "Nah, I don't need any police." And he said, "Me either." And we shook hands. He stuck his hand out, which is very, very uncommon for Thais to stick their hand out, because Thais, they do the WAI, the Y. He stuck his hand out to shake my hand. And I shook his hand and told him to have a great day. And he said the same to me, and it was done. So that's something you have to consider too. Now, there are the, occasional scam, the occasional this, the occasional that goes on, especially if you're going to go to Pattaya or Phuket or, a real touristy place where they have a lot of nightlife. And you find yourself surrounded with drinking companions, that kind of thing. You got to be a little bit of that Western mindset's got to come back in and kind of not prevail, but you just have to be aware of it. Cody says, "My supervisor explained China the way I assume Thailand is. Everyone has a job, working, or going somewhere. I'm not talking about the red light area." Yeah, yep, I would agree. Especially here in Bangkok. That's a true statement across the board, to be honest with you, Cody, because when I lived in Rayong, it was the same way. Everybody was working or going somewhere, had a job, and I lived in the city part of Rayong, not the rural part of Rayong, and they had different. It was just different. They had the same type traffic flow and the same type of busyness. It was just on a smaller scale, and there were back roads that you could take to eliminate some of the traffic and some of the headache, that kind of thing. The difference here in Bangkok is there's just so much traffic everywhere that it's virtually impossible to escape the onslaught, I would say, of traffic that comes through here. So you have to be really, really careful. I plan on putting some traffic videos up for you, because that is part of the Thai culture. The good news is the infrastructure in Thailand, in terms of Southeast Asia, is about as good as it gets. I would say between Malaysia and Thailand, probably they're right on par with each other. You can figure, and this is just my guesstimation, but you can figure that Thailand's about a decade ahead of the Philippines, if anybody's ever been to the Philippines, in terms of infrastructure. So you can get over here and you can tour on a bus. You can tour on, you can find very cheap domestic flights around Thailand to various airports and various tourist destinations. Or if you're an expat and you want to see some of the country, you're over here on a retirement visa or something like that, you can very easily get a domestic flight pretty much anywhere you want to, and it's just dirt cheap. I've seen some incredibly low prices on flights in Thailand. Cody said the city workers weren't allowed to even cut grass in city areas with mowers because it was considered a waste of resources. They did it by hand. Wow. Did I say hey to Mitchell earlier? Hey, Mitchell, I saw your picture come up, but I can't remember if I said hey to you. I just seen Dean up there and thought about it. Good morning, Dean. Good to see you, and thank you for dropping in, as always. I appreciate it very much. But the real culture shock is going to come down to if you're a guy and you come over here and you want to start dating, the culture shock is going to be more of a it's more of a challenge than it is like a culture shock, because many of the dating rules or some of the dating customs that we're used to, we talked about this a lot yesterday, but some of the dating rules and the customary things we do in the West, you can still do over here, but it's limited. Your scope of what you can do is limited. The hardest part is finding a Thai girl that speaks enough English if you don't speak Thai. And if you're going to live in Thailand, just like I should learn to speak Thai, you should learn to speak a little bit of Thai, in my opinion. I think it would be a good idea. It's not going to hurt anything, and there's always room for improvement for everybody. So try to learn a little bit of Thai if possible. That would be excellent. And you will have a much better success rate dating a Thai. Now, something else that I found Thai women look for is the amount of time you have been in Thailand. They don't really believe the amount of time that you tell them you're going to be here. So it's kind of like me. I've been here 2 years. Well, they think, if he's been here 2 years, he might actually. I'm on that little line where they think, he might actually stay for a little while. So that works in my favor, and that's a good thing. So just kind of got to see how it goes. Typically, the meeting is very, very, when you meet up with a girl or guy, whatever preference is, you pretty much know within one date whether or not you're going to want to see that person again, which is not always the case in the Western world, because in the Western world you get a whole lot more. You meet people, but you meet their representative, if you know what I mean. We talked about this before. You meet them a whole lot more than you do here in Thailand, because Thailand people, for the most part, or the Thais in general, are very honest people. Now, again, you get down to certain areas, the Pattayas and certain districts like that, you're going to find some shady characters, but that's just life. Cody says, one thing about markets to me is how long the food is allowed to set out. I know once it's cooked, it's supposed to kill bacteria. I don't see that working in all cases. It may not work in all cases. That's why it's a good idea to have the food that's cooked put back on the grill and get it reheated, and have somebody make sure that you understand, or make sure that you understand that if they put it back on the grill and warm it back up, it should be fine. It should be fine. I personally have never had a problem with eating food like that. Many people here put up a front to start. Got to give it time. Yeah, definitely got to give it time. And people can do that here in Thailand as well. I'm sure expats there the same way. Oh God, we're not even going to talk about that. But yeah, so let me. I will touch on that for a second. There are a handful of expats that you will find in each area you go to. And when I say a handful, I don't even mean like 5 full. There are a small number of expats that you will run into that are actually good people with good intentions. And they have your best interests at heart when they tell you something. Typically, you're going to find miserable people that have brought their misery from Western society or wherever they come from, and they thought that a change of location was going to make them less miserable. And then they had a wake up call, and they found out that um, being in a different spot, they had to take themselves with them. And that makes them even more miserable because their plan didn't work. And misery loves company. It's sad, really, to see some of the situations that I've seen over the years over here develop with expats. It's really just you start to wonder how 50-year-old people, grown men, can act like they're 15 again, and you just have to be very, very careful when it comes to expat relationships. Know what to look for, know the signs. Be sure that a good rule of thumb is make friends with the locals, not the expats. Because if you make friends with the locals, then I guarantee you they know an expat or two that's a good expat. So if that expat's around and you're in the same group with the same group of locals or whatever, that might be somebody that you would want to befriend, because you do need expat friends over here. Don't get me wrong, but they're just so incredibly hard to come by. So hard to come by. Prep for it says my culture shock was just how happy Thai people are. Mine too. They really are happy all the time. It's amazing. A few bad apples are in every area of the world, but the majority of Thais are very relaxed and good people. I couldn't agree more. I could not agree more. Very relaxed, good people, willing to take care of you. Once you overlook things like the taxis and the because you can get scammed in a taxi, and some other things that you can get rooted on. You overlook that and you just kind of go on to the next phase, and you'll find a good Thai person. In my opinion, I believe that. So I always think it's best to smile when you talk to them, even if you're not happy with them. Continue to smile. Humility will get you a long way over here. Being humble will definitely play a part in whether or not you have a successful endeavor when you come to Thailand. And I hope that your trip, vacation, whatever it is that you have planned to come, whether you move to Thailand, you plan on living in Thailand, you want to work in Thailand, whatever the case may be, leave your Western life on the plane, and definitely leave your Western privileges or attitudes on the plane, because they do not carry over here. I can assure you of that. Okay. And that's another part of culture shock that I didn't mention. Unless you're a citizen of this country, unless you do something really bad, the nobody really cares that much about you. And it's like, when I say that, I mean, like, in the policing and all that stuff, they don't really care that much. So they'll do a police report for you, and if you push it up high enough and you know the right people, then you can get some stuff done. But for the most part, if it's a foreigner versus a foreigner, it's just not a big issue. And it was the same way over in the Philippines. So it's kind of a Southeast Asian character. It's just a character of this part of the world. I know Filto says, "Oh my God, too many live streams running at the same time these days. Almost missed the #1 JC stream here." Thanks, Filtos. I appreciate that, bud. Yeah, there was a lot of streams. I saw people popping up that were going to go live that never go live on Sunday morning. I was like, well, I'll put it out there, and then I'll put a short stream out there, and then hopefully I'll get some return on the replay. So that's what I'm hoping for. But thanks for coming over, Philthos. Really appreciate it, man. I'm actually in the wind down here. I'm not going to go even an hour on this live stream. So just wanted to tell you guys that prepare for culture shock when you come over here. And when I said what I said about people not really caring, I don't mean that they don't care about you. It's just that you're not going to be the top priority unless it's you and a Thai in the situation. Then you're going to be a priority, but for all the wrong reasons. So just keep yourself out of trouble. Do the right thing. If you're going to drive, come here with an international driver's license, or get one when you get here, or get a Thai license when you get here. If you're going to if you're used to riding a bike without a helmet, sorry, you're going to have to get used to riding a bike with a helmet. You just have to follow the rules, and it's pretty simple. Follow the rules. Remember, you're a guest in this country, and if it's bad enough, you can always go home if you don't like the rules. And I hate to say that to people, but it's true. Cody says bot buses look like a blast. Yeah, we'll do a whole video on bot buses one day when I can get back down to Pattaya. And because the bot bus circle down there is very easy for me to keep up with. I don't ride bot buses a lot here. I did in Rayong, but I don't here. So anyway, for anybody that has contributed monetarily to the channel, I want to thank you very much, and tell you that everything is going according to plan in terms of our new camera system coming in, and it looks like it's going to come in just in time for the reopening. Hey Prince, good to see you this morning. He said, "Nah, I have bruised tailbone from the bot bus." You can get a bruised tailbone because some of them just don't have the adequate amount of suspension or other things that you might need, like the padding of the seat may not be padding at all. It may just be a board sitting there. So you have to look at those things. But yeah, you guys can go check out whoever else's stream's going on. We had a really good one yesterday, and I was very grateful for that. I just wanted to have like a stream today where the family met and give you a little good topic on. Oh, there's Jim. He's the one up PayPal link. Hey, Jim. Good to see you, bud. So for any of you that have contributed monetarily, I just want to say thanks. And it's definitely not going to waste. And anybody that has commented in the chat, I appreciate you very much for participating. I appreciate my hardcore DoMoreLife family members. You know who you are, and I thank you very much for that. Hopefully we'll have some channel memberships available at the end of the week here. I don't know what's going to happen, but we'll see. That being said, just remember that let me try that again. Just remember that this channel is dedicated to travel, fun, photography, and education, specifically travel education. Filtho says, bot buses rock, love sightseeing in them, still have a scar on my head from one. Excuse me 1 second, guys. Read this message right here. Well, that's awesome. Cool beans, man. Cool beans. Roger says, sorry, I've been quiet, preoccupied. No problem. Paul says, I'm curious about the culture shock if you live on a $4,000 to $5,000 U.S. budget and brought that money amount to Thailand to live on. I see many reports about living on 2K or less. but not more. If you have 4 to 5K a month to live on, the culture shock is going to be, I mean, you're still going to get the culture shock, but it's going to be, you're going to be less affected by it because it really doesn't matter. You have enough money to do whatever you want to do. So I would say it would be much less. Cody says, ditto. Jim says, with the camera phone getting so close, the PayPal challenge, if anybody can do a little contribution, get 3 people to do $10, and I'll do one as well every time you get there. Jim says, Jeremy, hang on just a moment. Let's see if we can get a little contribution. Here to go. And wow. Roger McGee answers the call. Roger McGee, my man, answers the call. Good. Thank you, my friend. Thank you. Roger McGee. And the note says, throw another 10 in, Jim. So Roger hit it right there. Roger definitely hit it. Thank you, Roger. Thank you so much for that, man. That was exceptionally very well appreciated. Wow, that was awesome. Appreciate that, and I'm sure Jim will match that for sure. Really appreciate that, Roger. Thank you. Prince says 4 to 5K is plenty if you're not going to live like a tourist. Yeah, well, even if you're going to live like a tourist, 5K, you can live like a tourist for 5K. I don't know that I've ever spent $5,000 in a month over here, and that's even when I bought a $2,000 computer. You know what I mean? Jim says, come on, guys, last minute challenge. I love Jim when he pops in. Cody says, cool time for a BLT. Y'all made me hungry earlier. I understand. Philthos, I read your comment, and you're correct, but for some reason, YouTube didn't want me to put it up there. Hike says, yeah, $4,000 a month in Thailand, and you would be the man, no worries at all. And that's 100% true. No worries at all. Jim says, last minute challenge, Jeremy. Let's get them to throw it up real quick. Get 30. I throw in 10 every time you get 30. I throw 10. I like that. Cody says, at 4K, I'm figuring 500 are your bills. Stick back 1,000 when you have 2,500 a month. Do as you wish. That's pretty close, but it depends on where you live. Like, we did a cost of living video over here for me, and that was it's 9,000 baht, about $300 a month in rent. And then we have groceries, and then if you have any kind of health problems, medication, doctors, that kind of thing, then it may cost you a little bit more, a little bit less. Guys, be sure you hit that thumbs up button for me. I would greatly appreciate it. Greatly appreciate it. And I'm looking for anything else. Cody says, I'm figuring the 2,500 as food too. Oh yeah, all your bills, if it comes to 2,500 USD a month, then you're living good. Prince says the 500 depends on where you live and when you sign your lease. That's very true, Prince. But if you can live, if you're making, let's say you're making 4K a month, USD, you can live a great life on, well, I won't say great, but I'll say a very adequate life on 2,500. And there is the 10 from Mr. Jim. Look at that match right there, Roger. I like that, bud. Thank you very much, guys. You rock. I absolutely love you guys. Good job good job, Jim. I love it when you come in and do this stuff like this, man. It just makes my day so much. back to what I was saying. Thank you, Jim, and thank you, Roger. I really appreciate that. Hike says budget $100 a month to get hooked on phonics. Yeah, that's true. Cody says, I guess I meant rent $500 with the electric, water, phone insurance. I see what you're saying. Filtho says, is Pacific Cross accepted as one of those insurers there where you put down the card and they just do whatever you need? It depends on the plan. Depends on the plan, Filthos. You really got to do your homework. My insurance company and the plan I have is one of those where you throw the car down and they do everything. You don't have to worry about it. Ding, ding, here it comes, he said. Yeah, so it came in, and thank you, Jim. I appreciate that. And thank you, Roger. I very much appreciate both of those contributions. Hey, Stuck, good morning to you, and glad to see you pop in, man. We're just wrapping up everything, and was able to get little, no, I won't say a little bit of contribution because that's not a little bit, but we got some contributions there at the very end, and I was very shocked, but very, very much appreciated. Prince says, if you could get to Pattaya right now, a lot of condos by the beach going for 10K baht because it's so empty. I've heard that too. Cody says, flow right. Jim says, come on, guys, 30 more, I'll send 10 more. 30 more, I'll send 10 more. So he's saying for every 30, he'll send 10 more dollars. I'll give it a few minutes, Jim, and see if anybody else hits that. And if they do, that'll be great. And if they don't, it's all okay. Stuck says, I missed the notification. I was watching Mike. It must have popped up while I was away from my phone. It's all good, man. I knew Mike was going to have one earlier. I think it started at 8:15. 9:15 Philippines time, but at 8:15 Thailand time is when I think it started. And so I want to make sure I gave him a good hour before I hit the live stream. And then I saw, as I was setting my live stream up, I saw Rob, his notification that he was going to pop up. And I figured, that we wouldn't get many people in here. So it's all good. Stuck says he is still going. I figured. Jim says, sorry, guys, I was running late. As always, something comes up right when the stream is getting ready to pop on, but I'm here ready for the ding ding. We'll see what happens over the next 5 minutes or so, Jim. And if we get something, I'll be extraordinarily grateful. And if we don't, I'll still be extraordinarily grateful. So it's no big deal. So a couple things to keep in mind. One is the food. Be sure you're prepared for the food in Thailand. Do some research on YouTube. Just type in Thai street food and the area that you're going to, and you can probably find some good stuff. Good food stalls. Jim says Mike is on Rob. Oh, Mike went over to Rob's live stream. Cool. Yeah, so check that out for the street food. Leave your ego on the plane, definitely. We want to be humble for sure. Remember that Thai people, vast majority of them, are super gracious, super nice, super easy to get along with. Make sure you do not make anybody lose face. In other words, don't embarrass them. Prince says, I want one of those cookies. Oh, one of those Cokes. I should run to the Family Mart. Yeah, go get them. I love those little bitty Cokes, man. They're good. Cody says, beaches open up in Texas today. I heard the ferry lines were a mile long to get to Galveston Island, Crystal Beach. I bet they were. Jim says, I'm going to up the ante forever. Forever 10, I give 10. Wow. So for every $10 that somebody contributes, you're going to give $10. Woo! That's a big one. Stuck in Florida says they are on each other's channel. Oh, okay, cool. I have to check that out. Are they? Let me look at something real quick. Let's see what it looks like to be on two channels at once. because I am not familiar with what that looks like. Oops. Maybank. Oh, I can't go to it from there. I got to go to YouTube. Sorry. When they open, I mean, who says?
Actually, that I think Warren probably has more than, like, say, Bill Gates, right? The guys that are.
Okay. Yep. Those guys are over there live streaming it up, and that's cool. Stuck says, I'm prepared for Thai food. I crave it every day. You get all, oh, one thing I forgot to tell you in terms of the culture shock and in terms of the food, buy the charcoal tablets when you come over here. And if you need them, take them, because especially when you first start eating meals over here, take the charcoal tablets just to make sure that, because Thai food had, just like any other food in any other country, has different kinds of bacteria in it and different kinds of, stuff. And our bodies are not used to them. So you may want to take some charcoal tablets just to begin with. Prince made a comment. YouTube wants me to hold your comment, Prince. I'm not, or hide your comment. I don't know why. But basically, he's saying Pattaya needs a lot of people because, well, somebody approved it. So needs to get bombarded. Yeah, there are people starving here. I don't know why that was up, but it was up for review. So no offense, Prince, but I'm gonna take it down. I still think you give a accurate presentation there of what it's like. Prince says they don't want people recording the situation here. I heard that. I heard that they didn't, but I would still like to get down there and be able to do some of it. And Cody said about the same thing. So I think once they open up the border there, that they probably will, guys. To be honest with you, Jim says correct. Cody says like Tums. Yeah, it's kind of like Tums, but it's charcoal tablets, and it's not bad for you. It's not unhealthy or anything like that. It's actually pretty good. So yeah, I thought it was the B word. I agree. Stuck. Let's see. Stuck says, I've tried the link several times that Jim posted. It says it's taken down by user. Then that's okay. Look in the description of this video. It should be in the description of this video. If you're talking about the PayPal link. If it's not in the description of this video, it should be. Because I just saw it. So it should be in the description. Just all you have to do is go to the little box and hit more, and you'll see it down there. Let's see, where was I at? Prince says they don't want people record. Yeah, I agree with that. Cody says Prince was replying to mine. Oh, Prince says if you film, don't record indoors. Yeah, definitely not going to record indoors. That's for sure. I heard that. I got some inside information about that the other day. Definitely not a good thing. Cody says other vloggers are saying nightlife areas are getting tougher on filming. They are. Definitely. And so getting nightlife filming is probably going to be a little bit harder to do than average. And there is Stuck in Florida's $10. $10. Thank you, Mr. Stuck. I appreciate you very much. And I would definitely show it if it comes through on email. Let's see if it comes through. Oh, when was this? Yesterday at 1:09 p.m. There's Jim's 10 to match it. And looks like Frank said 10 at some point. Since I got a new email address on there, I get confused. And let me see if I can bring it up, guys. Give me a second. My email keeps freezing up there. There is, that's Jim's right there. I don't know where the other one went. It hasn't popped up yet. It popped up on PayPal, but it didn't pop up on email. So I'll show it when it does pop up on email. Thank you, Stuck. I very much appreciate it. Very, very much. Yeah, the one in the description always works. Let's see. Prince, if you do film, don't record. Yeah, definitely don't record inside. I've heard it's getting a lot tougher there for sure. Jim says, yeah, Jeremy, I just went and load your PayPal link is down. It shouldn't be down. I don't know why it's coming through PayPal. Let me double check and I'll show you. And then I'll catch your comments up in just a second, guys. Just bear with me for 1 second. Yeah, see, this is where it's coming through. I want to pull this money up. Okay, so this is well, I can't show that because that's straight from PayPal. It has all the information on it. But Stuck definitely hit 10 on there, and hopefully it'll come through at some point so I can show you guys. I don't know why it's not. Let's try to reload this. That wasn't PayPal. I don't know. Hadn't come through yet. As soon as it does, I'll show it to you guys. Let's see. T something says, hey mate, looks like we can't have that Coke in May now. That flight had been canceled. Terrible. Yeah, probably gonna be a while before all the flights open back up. What's up, Cheap Charlie? He's talking to Prince. He says, what do you mean don't record indoors and what types of places? I read an article day before yesterday. They were talking about not to record in the nightlife districts inside the venues. They were going to crack down on that. That's weird. Prince says, oh, I don't go to the nightlife areas. I wanted to show how empty Central Festival Mall is, and security made me stop. Oh, wow. That would have been a good one. Or recording the streets and how deserted they are. That would also be a good one. Yeah, the one in the description worked, Stuck, because that's where yours came through. It came through. I can see it on PayPal, but I just can't see it it didn't send the email out yet. And that happened yesterday too. Some of the emails didn't come out till like 40 minutes after the live stream was over. I don't know what happened. Brent says, when those people were arrested on Johnson Beach, I was there. I didn't try to record it. That's probably a good thing. Probably a good thing. Let's see. What did I miss here? Oh, Chief Charlie, you haven't drank in over a month. Good for you, bud. Good for you, man. Glad to hear you are back on the wagon. That's awesome. Cody says, CC, looking forward to see your Cleveland to Pittsburgh walk challenge. Oh, dude, that would be awesome. Jim says, okay, I just covered Stucks. Is there another one? I don't know. Somebody might throw it in. We'll have to wait and see, but I'm going to wind this one down because we're coming right to an hour. But Jim and Stuck and Roger, you guys are freaking rock. I appreciate it so much. Let's see. Chief Charlie says, don't think I'm strong enough for that, Cody. Walked 12 miles yesterday and couldn't get out of bed today. Whew, that's a lot of walking, man. I'd have to do 18 miles for 8 days straight. Wow. That would be a lot of walking, but you would definitely be in good shape. Brett says, get some Epsom salt and soak your feet, Charlie. That's yeah, soak your feet. But a lot of people don't realize is if you're going to walk that far, it's in your shoes, right? It's all in the shoes. You need the right kind of insert in your shoes, or you need the right kind of shoes, period. And because where it really takes place is not just in your legs, but in your lower back. There's Chuck. What is up, Chuck? Good to see you, my friend. I haven't seen you in forever, man. Thank you very much for stopping by. I genuinely appreciate it, and it's great to see you in the live stream, man. Good to know you're okay. I don't know why. Yeah, I don't know why it's that. Hope everyone's well. Canceled my May trip to Pattaya. Oh man, sorry to hear that, bro. Sorry to hear that you had to cancel. That's rough. Probably, I'm guessing it'll only be a couple of months, and you'll be okay if you want to try it again. Jim says, Oki recopied the link from 2 nights ago, and it worked fine. I don't know what was wrong with the one from last night, but anyway, it's here now. Okay, that's good. Prince says, Charlie has me hooked on soda water. I drink 3 a day now. I can't get into soda water for some reason. I don't know. Chuck says he is reloaded for October. That's awesome, man, because I think I may have some time off in October if they give us the holidays that they're supposed to. And if I do, I'll definitely have to meet up with you again, man, because I didn't get to see you on your last trip, and would hate to miss you twice in a row, for sure. Let's see. Cody says, I eat more Snickers now because of Cheap Charlie. Jim says, no problem. You have a good night. Good night, everyone. Jim going, okay, Jim, thank you, brother. I appreciate you coming on, helping out, man. That was awesome. Hike says, Chuck in the house. Yes, he is. And Cody says, Dr. Pepper and Doritos are my weakness. Well, we got those over here, so they're still going to be your weakness, bro. That's not going to change, I don't think. Prince says, at first I was mixing soda water with vitamin C drink, then I added lime. Now I just drink soda water. Sounds pretty good, lime and soda water. I might be able to do that. I don't know. Roger says, you vloggers sure are cliquish. Just kidding. I hear you, bud. I'm going to go ahead and wrap this one up. I want to thank Roger and Stuck and Jim for the contributions that I genuinely appreciate. Really means a lot, and thank you for supporting the channel. I mean, it's awesome. Thank you guys for supporting the channel. I hope that you found this video full of good, helpful information, especially earlier in the video, and I hope it helps some people. You know, I love you guys. I love all my family, and whatever you do today, be sure you do more life, man. And no problem, Stuck. Don't worry about that. I'm just glad you came in, brother. Roger, good night to you, sir. And thanks to everyone for enjoying. Chuck, it's good to see you again. Real good to see you, Prince. Thanks for stopping by. Cody, always a pleasure, my friend. And for everyone else who was in here, and Jim, if you're still watching, thank you for doing what you did. I really appreciate it. Everyone else, have a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful day. I will see you on the next one. Hike, yes, you too. You're an awesome moderator. You guys take care.